It was one of the most feared high-performance weapons of the 20th century. When the MiG-15 appeared in the skies over Korea, it sent the unsuspecting West spiraling into a state of shock. Until the arrival of the American F-86 Sabre, the Russian jet outclassed everything in the sky. Now, the MiG-15 on Modern Marvels.
Russia in the 1920s was a country of turmoil, revolution, and change. Stalin's reign of terror permeated every aspect of life in the Soviet Union. Soviet aircraft designers lived in a world of secrecy and fear. Although well behind the West, Soviet designers were actively experimenting with advanced technology. But by the late 1930s, much of this innovative work would never see the light of day. Aircraft designers knew that to fail could mean banishment to a labor camp in Siberia or a bullet in the back of the head.
You were living under an administration which was happy to shoot large numbers of engineers or anybody else on simple whims, political whims or whatever. And so there was an atmosphere that really is very difficult for people in the West to understand.
Stalin astonished the world in August 1939 by signing a non-aggression pact with Germany. When his top engineer discovered that the German Me-109 fighter was far superior to anything in the Soviet Union, Stalin flew into a rage. Nikolai Polikarpov, his chief designer, immediately fell out of favor as too old and stayed. Stalin began to search for a younger and more dynamic team. He selected a young designer named Artem Mikoyan to head a new design bureau and tapped Mikhail Goryevich as his deputy.
Artem
Ivanovich was of course a designer, but an exceptional organizer too. He was the ideas man, whereas Goryevich was someone who was very good at detail and fine-tuning the designs.
Artem Mikoyan was from Armenia, the son of a carpenter. He had trained as a pilot in the Soviet Air Force and later became an engineer. His brother was on Stalin's Council of Ministers. By 1937, he had joined the main Soviet design bureau led by Polikarpov. Here he worked on several successful aircraft designs. Now he would replace his boss and lead the Soviet Union into the jet age. Mikhail Goryevich was a Ukrainian. He trained as an engineer, and after the revolution became an aircraft designer in Moscow. Here he met Mikoyan and they became good friends.
Goryevich liked Artem Mikoyan a lot. He was perfectly happy to be his deputy. They were both kind and decent people, and that's also why they worked so well together.
The motto of the new experimental bureau was speed and altitude. All their future aircraft designs would be known as MiGs, after the combination of its creators' names. It was the start of a partnership that would be associated around the world with successful aircraft for decades. Then, in June 1941, Hitler launched his surprise offensive against the Soviet Union. Stalin's Air Force was totally unprepared and ill-equipped to fight the modern German fighters. Russian losses were massive. Final victory over the Nazi war machine was largely due to the remarkable success of the Red Army. The Soviet Air Force was left